Hey nerds, what's up? Today's video is going to be looking back at what my 2018 resolutions were for the year and seeing how I did, as well as talking about some new 2019 resolutions that I'd like to do. But first, I wanted to look at my Goodreads stats that they gave us. This was so cool this year. I don't know if they've done this in past years, but it was like my year in 2018 in books. And so it gives you some different little stats in here, and I really enjoyed that. So this year I read 90 books, which is insane to me. In past years, I've been reading like maybe 60 and probably less. And I read 90. That's like basically doubling my book reading, and that is insanity to me. In those 90 books, I read 33,593 pages so far this year. I also am planning on reading 2 and maybe a 3rd book within the next week and a half. I still have a week and a half left of the year. So we'll see if this changes, but as of right now, this is what we're looking at. My shortest book that I read this year was my little novella, Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell at 96 pages, and my longest book of the year so far has been Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, which hits 672 pages. Although I'm reading Kingdom of Ash right now, and that will definitely win if I do finish it before the end of the year, but we'll see if I manage that. And my average length of a book hits 373 pages. The most popular book on Goodreads that I read this year was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which is not surprising that this would be the most popular. Everyone reads this book, like, of course it is. And my least popular book that I read this year was Order of Nature by Josh Scheinhardt, which only has 35 people who have read it on Goodreads, and I highly recommend this book. I do have a spoiler-free review of it on my channel. I was sent this in exchange for a review. It is very good. It is very heart-wrenching. There is lots of sexual violence in this, so like very big trigger warning, but it was so good. It's about a man who goes to the Gambia, which is in Africa. He's an American, and he goes and volunteers teaching in schools there, and in the Gambia it's illegal to be gay, and he happens to be gay, and he falls in love with a Gambian man. They have a secret relationship, and as you would imagine, things don't work out very well. This was just like a cool little statistics thing that Goodreads did, and I highly enjoyed it, and so I wanted to share some of the stats that it gave me. I want to go through my video that I made in 2018. I made it at the beginning of 2018 for my resolutions for this year. And then I also want to talk about some of the things that I still want to do this coming year.
Hey nerds, what's up? Oh my god, I haven't said that in a long time. Hedwig is staring at me. Hedwig is my cat.
Look at my hair in this video.
You don't know or don't remember because
what happened?
I've been here in a really long time. I'm going to take off my glasses because they're a little glary over there. Let me just
here I am with my glasses, still glaring, not caring.
My life. My next resolution is I really want to write more. That doesn't necessarily mean I want to be writing fictional stories, although I am really interested in doing that. I've done NaNoWriMo a few times, never won anything because I don't write regularly, so then jumping into trying to write 50,000 words in 1 month never works out well for me. I don't like the idea of bullet journaling.
I did not write more in 2018. Didn't do that. I didn't journal. I didn't do anything. I still have a planner. So this is my 2018 planner. It's a monthly and daily planner, which I decided for 2019 I'm going bigger, but it's a monthly and weekly planner. So it has, each day has like a set of lines that are just plain, and then has a set of lines that have little dots so that you can make to-do lists, which I absolutely love. So this is for one day, regular, and then this one has dots so I can make a to-do list here and like put what my schedule is. So this I'm planning on using for school, work, because I do work as a substitute teacher, which means that I don't have a regular workplace, so I like to write in where I'm going to work. I also work for the hearing offices, and the judge changes and how many cases I have on the days change, so that's why I like having this as well. So this is more for like daily life, but then I did start a bullet journal last month, and I've actually just made my 2019 yearly spread stuff, and this is basically going to be like video stuff, reading stats for my video making basically, although I did also include, I do have my huge New Orleans spread because we're going on the 28th, so I did include that in this because I didn't have enough space. Do you guys want a bullet journal flip through for like how I set it up? Because I'd be fine with making that if you're interested. I am doing that, so maybe I will journal more in 2019, as in like Dear Diary type journaling. I don't know.
Reading goal, I set it to 60. I've read 4 40 books this year, so a big fat fail on that, but I'm actually okay with it because 2016 I read 45 books, so we seem to be like right around the same time frame. I'm going to set my reading goal for this year for 52 books. I feel like that's possible, and I have a reading thing that I want to try to do. Can't think of who it's by right now, but there's 52 challenges.
So I didn't do the 52 book thing. I did set my goal to 52 and I made it to 90 books like I said earlier. I think I'm gonna set my Goodreads goal to 52 again because I like that it's 1 book a week, and then if I surpass it, it'll feel great.
Goals. Number 1 is to come back to YouTube, so here I am. I
still here.
Second one, I want to plan out these videos more often, which I obviously did not do for this. I'm just a hot mess, it's fine, and I always am, and I'm hoping to be less of one in 2018.
So I do not plan out my videos still to what I was talking about in this video. I do plan out my schedule for them. I schedule them throughout the month, and then that's how I book film, is like I know that I need to film up until this video because I won't have time to film before that, and then I make plans to film after that. But what I was talking about in this video was more like I wanted to plan out the videos, like know what I was gonna say so I don't babble as much, but I haven't done that, and I don't think I'm going to because I don't want to feel like I'm reading off a script. I want to feel like myself.
I think what I might do is like a definite 1 day a week, but then a possible 2nd day a week that'll change.
I post 2 days a week now, so I added a guaranteed 2nd day to what I was talking about there. I don't think I'm going to do 3 days a week while it's in school, at least, although I have been considering doing weekly reading vlogs for the whole year, and if I do that, then it'll be 3 videos a week, and they'll just be easily edited, not crazy reading vlogs. So let me know, are you guys interested in having weekly reading vlogs for the whole year of 2019? Let me know if you'd be interested in that. I would love to hear your feedback.
Another plan that I want to do, which I tried to do last year, I do remember this, and I did not succeed in any way, shape, or form, is I want to do all of my spoiler-free reviews on my blog. I want to use my blog.
I don't use my blog anymore. It's basically dead, sir.
Reading vlogs. So like, not just a daily vlog. Read a book and vlog my experience while I'm reading it, and it'll be spoilery.
I have done that a few times this year, but I actually prefer doing weekly reading vlogs over a reading vlog for a particular book. Unless it's like for a specific thing. Like I like April from Aprilius Maximus recently did reading vlogs for all of the different Throne of Glass books, and so I really liked how she did those. So in the future maybe I would do one like that, but I prefer the weekly reading vlogs versus that kind of reading vlog in general myself.
I want to start a book club. So I already am part of the tri-monthly book club.
I meant quarterly.
The Biannual Bibliothon girls. It's technically separate from the Biannual Bibliothon, but we read a book together every 3 months and then do the live show on the Bibliothon channel. This one I want to do on my own channel, and I want it to be monthly. I want to do it like where I and at least one other YouTuber, one of my friends on BookTube, does the live show together, and so like we know ahead of time that that person is going to be involved in the live show, but they're not necessarily in it every month. I mean, maybe they will be, but I don't know who will do it with me.
So obviously this is the Sassy Book Club. I've done it. I did it. I have it. So there is actually a Google form in the description box down below that I would love for you guys to help me and fill out. It's a survey. Essentially, there's a few multiple choice questions on it, and then there's a couple different sections for you to fill out if you have any extra comments. And it's basically just letting me know, like, what did you like about the Sassy Book Club? What should I change? Etc. Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads is officially a permanent host, but we will still be having guest hosts in general. But there's stuff about like the Goodreads page and Twitter and like different things on there, so I would really love your feedback on that if you could give it a minute and go check that out, because I want to do better on it. I always want to be improving. And yeah, so like I'm really proud of the Sassy Book Club. I love it.
I've had a lot of these books for a very long time. Some of them are newer, some of them are older, but I want to read them. I want to be reading books that I already own, and so one of the things that I want to do is like pick one of these randomly. I've also been really inspired by Trina from Between Chapters and Books and Lala.
So I did use my TBR jar last year all the time. How I had it set up last year was in this, I had papers that had a number and then another number, and it basically told me which shelf to go to and then which book on the shelf to go to. And so I recently redid it. You can see all the colors in here, and so I actually put the names of the books in in here instead of the numbers like I had. White is sci-fi, yellow is fantasy and like dystopian, purple is contemporary and thrillers. No, white is sci-fi. I don't remember. They're color coordinated. I want to be picking out of this. I think I'm gonna do it the same way that I've been doing it this year, which is that I'll pick 3 out, and then of those 3 I have to read 1. And then I also did start doing the Goodreads TBR pick, which you guys will then poll. I poll it and you guys choose which one to read, and I really like that. So let me know if you guys like it, basically, in the comments. But I like the idea of like going through my Goodreads TBR and then picking 3 books off of it and then polling those 3 books so that you guys can pick for me which one I should read.
Get to look back on like, are they actually reading the books that they're saying they're gonna read in their TBR videos? They both have these like amazing videos that I've been watching a lot over because they've been doing the yearly wrap-up ones. As far as my just straight up reading resolutions go, these came.
So what I was talking about there is basically the stats that Trina and Books and Lala always do in their videos for their wrap-ups, and I have started doing that. I really like doing it. Is there anything in my stats for my wrap-ups that you would like to see me do better? Let me know in the comments, but I really do like doing those.
I want to read daily, at least for 10.
I don't do that. I just don't. It's an impossible feat. I mean, probably I read almost daily if you're including audiobooks, which audiobook is a reading, but I read probably almost daily, close to daily, but definitely not daily.
And I would like go to family functions and refuse to speak to anyone and just read instead. And I still do that sometimes. Now, I want to read more adult books. I have been realizing that I'm getting really frustrated with the YA tropes and stereotypes that happen, especially in contemporary. Like, I most of the time cannot even read a YA contemporary book anymore, and it's not fair for me to be giving them 1-star reviews when, like, part of the problem is that I'm not in high school anymore.
I have been reading more adult, although I definitely did skew more young adult this year. I did notice that what I was talking about with being frustrated definitely didn't happen as much this year. I don't know if that was just me picking books better for myself and not reading those types of contemporaries that do frustrate me, or if my reading tastes have changed yet again, who knows. But in general, I have been enjoying young adult still, but I have been reading more adult than I was before that.
Graphic novels and comic books. I think 2016 was the first time I ever read a graphic novel, and then in 2017 I just like never read one ever again. So I just want to read them more. So I have read some graphic novels this year, but it's definitely not something that I gravitate towards because one is that I don't want to buy them. They're usually more expensive than a young adult novel, and they only last me like an hour of entertainment. So for me, it's like not worth the money, but I have a library. So if you have any graphic novel recommendations for me, I'd love to hear them in the comments. I want to read more from some specific authors that I have read one book or one series from, and I've like fallen in love with the way that they wrote it and like the series themselves, and then I just like never read anything else from them ever again. Victoria Schwab, who I fell in love with her first book that I ever read. I've only ever read Vicious, and I just recently read A Darker Shade of Magic, and I'm going to continue with that series. I'm buddy reading it with Red Reader and Katrina from Little Book Owl, but like
I did read the whole Conjuring of Light series, and I also read Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, and I read City of Ghosts. I mentioned Alexandra Bracken. I haven't read anything else from her this year.
Amy Kaufman is another one. I've read books with Jay Kristoff. She has a trilogy by herself and Megan Spooner that I really want to read.
I've read it. It was okay. I read the whole series.
Bray. I've read The Diviners and Layer of Dreams, but I have not read The Devil Breaks You.
Now I have.
The Devil Breaks You, her third book in that series. I haven't read any of her other books, and she has
I still haven't.
My last author that I really just want to read more of is from J.K. Rowling.
I haven't read any of the Robert Galbraith books, although I would still like to, like the Cuckoo's Calling, I think. I would like to try those. I also would love to read more from Taylor Jenkins Reid, more from Katrina Leno. I'd love to read more from Ashley Herring Blake. Off the top of my head, those are some quick authors that I would love to read more from, but that's all of my 2018 resolutions of the year. I think I did pretty good. As far as my channel goes, some things that I'm really hoping for in the year to come in 2019, some resolutions or goals, I guess, is more an accurate term. But I'd really love to hit 10,000 subscribers this year. I was just talking to my fiance. He's a graphic designer for his job, and so I was just talking to him this morning about making new art for everything. So that is in the works. I don't know when I'll have it. And I've been working on like making new thumbnails and stuff. If you guys have noticed, I'd love to hear your feedback on how you guys like these new thumbnails. Any other feedback that you'd love to give me, I'd love to hear it. Make sure to use that Google form for Sassy Book Club feedback. I would love to have it all in that place, and I'd love to hear what you have to say, so please, please fill it out if you have a chance. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I make videos. I don't know when I make videos yet. That's to be decided, so in the next video I will probably let you know, but you can always hit that notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post a video, and I'll see you guys very soon with a new one. Bye! I wish I could